My name's Holden Sheppard. I'm an award-winning Australian novelist. I've worked as a writer for a number of years. I've had 3 books published so far. One's called Invisible Boys, which was adapted into a TV series on Stan recently. The other one is The Brink, and the new release is called King of Dirt, which has just come out.
Invisible Boys. I'm going to start there. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thanks. It's the thing when you have a book optioned for film and TV, most people will kind of say to you, this won't go anywhere. It might happen, but it's like a 1% chance that it will get all the way through. So you kind of, the whole way through for several years, you've got your expectations kind of down here. Essentially, it took 5 years from being optioned to getting all the way to being on Australian TV screens. So
did someone approach you? Or...
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
yeah, so
wow.
I had a producer and director. So producer Tanya Chambers, director Nicholas Verso. And they kind of said, here's our vision and here's what we would want to do with your book. And we had a few other parties also wanting the rights at the same time, which, makes you feel like,
pretty good.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah,
not doing bad for a boy from Spalding, So to think, oh, okay, like this is a pretty good situation to be in. And their vision was the one that really did justice to the book. So they optioned it, it goes through development, it gets funding from different people, it takes years. And then eventually you get someone like Stan saying, yep, green light, we're going to make a TV show. And it's going to be amazing. And, those 4 boys are amazing. Pia Miranda is amazing.
I know. It was so nice to see her again on screen.
It was.
I feel like I haven't seen her for ages.
But she's so... Because everyone loves her. Like,
yeah.
you love her from Looking for Ella Brandy.
Yes, yeah.
And then you see her in Invisible Boys and it's like, she's the villain.
Like, yeah.
Who knew she could do this?
So can you talk about being a young gay man in a small town? Like, when did you know? How did that affect, your work now, but also just growing up and, like, connecting with people and your mental health, all that together, like how that must have been
it was gnarly.
Really hard.
It was gnarly. It was a hectic time of my life, probably I particularly remember being around 14 and we're a big footy family, so AFL is what we follow. My whole family, we're all Collingwood supporters. So I remember watching footy was life in our household. It was always kind of on. And then I was probably around 14 when I was like watching games of footy on TV and then kind of going, and it changed from being like, that was a great goal to like, wow, he's hot.
Yeah. And you're like, hang on a second here.
And you're like, I don't think I'm meant to think that, I don't think this is, what I'm meant to be doing. And so that did, initially I was kind of like, yeah, whatever. But once I realized that was not going away as a teenager, that led to some dark times, probably from the age of 16 to 19. And so that was a particular challenge for me. I mean, a lot of what I wrote about in Invisible Boys is directly of taken. It's me.
Are you the Invisible Boy? Is that how it's written?
Pretty much. Yeah. So that was kind of me. When I wrote it, I was like, no one's going to believe that this character has been through all of these things at this age. Like, it's just too much trauma to give to one little guy. So I split it up into 3. So Zeke.
Wow, okay.
So it's like Zeke, Charlie, Hammer, mind, heart, body. So I kind of split them up. So Zeke was the mind and Charlie was the heart and Hammer was the body. And I gave them different things to deal with in terms of grappling with sexuality and grappling with identity.
That is such an amazing backstory.
Yeah, I think it was a self-protection thing as much as anything. Because I come from a Sicilian Australian family, country town, blue collar background. Dad is in earth moving. Me and my brothers worked as labourers with him. My uncles were brickies. That was the kind of world you're in. It's really blokey and we don't talk about mental health and we don't talk about feelings and all of that. So for me to get there, and a Catholic as well, did I mention? So
anything else?
Yeah, just the cherry on the top. Like this kid doesn't have enough challenges. Make it harder for the gay kid. So.
I should not be. I'm not laughing at it. But
no, it's funny. But it was tough, is my point. And so to then get there in my late 20s and start to write a story about it, I was like, I can't just have one character do this because everyone will know it's me. So I just hid myself in characters, and some of it's real and some of it's not. I mean, these days I can write something like King of Dirt, and it's about mental health in your 30s and dealing with very similar problems and addiction and depression and anger management, all the kinds of things that I have struggled with in different ways. And I'm much more unified now and I feel like I can talk about it. Very early on it was very confronting and I used to feel like I had to tell people this part's fiction and this part's real. Like I felt like I had to almost like go to confession as a Catholic boy, in front of audiences at festivals and things. I'm there going, yeah, this thing happened and this thing really happened and this thing really happened. And then it's not good for your mental health. Like that really messed me up. I've had times where it's been really hard and it's been, and the Invincible Boys tour was 60 days, and I came off that, and I slept for like 17 hours the day that finished, because I was just like, ugh.
Oh my gosh.
And I remember another author, her name is, she's a journalist as well, but Anne-Louise Willoughby, and she reached out to me at one point. She's like, you going okay? It was like in the first week, she's like, you going okay? And I was like, nah, you know, I would, no, you know, like I was struggling. It was so much when you're an introverted creative to put yourself out there. It was so much, and I was not doing well mentally. And just having her reach out and say that meant the world. You just have this little chat, because you don't feel like you can say that when you're in promo mode. You feel like you've got to, you know, smile, promote. You don't want to tell people that, you know, I'm having a hard time, or I'm having a hard day, or I'm a bit tired, or I'm depressed, or I'm anxious.
Yeah.
But yeah, so having people reach out like that has helped, and there's been times where I've reached out to, you know, crisis lines and things like that during tour. You know, when I've had actually really difficult moments to kind of pull me back.
That's so good, because I feel like there's,
you know, support this. It's very important.
Talk about that, because I think the stigma around reaching out, even when you don't have to be in crisis, right? To like just need to talk to someone, or, you know, whatever it may be. But I still feel like there's a lot of stigma, because people think they need to really be in crisis like this. You know what I mean? To like reach out.
Yes.
So I think destigmatizing help seeking.
Yeah, I think it is vital, because my understanding is those services are there to support you, not necessarily when you've reached the point of like, I'm losing it. It's to support you when you're going, hey, I'm not doing so well, and I can tell that this is going down a bad road, and some intervention now would actually really help me. So yeah, I had a time on the Brink tour when I was in Melbourne, and I was just having a very hard time. And yeah, I did end up reaching out and having a phone call with someone and just kind of talking it out. And that got me through that night, you know. So I'd like to normalise that. I think for any creative, probably especially for blokes, I'm often talking about this, like just in terms of men's mental health, like, because we're really bad at this. Like,
yes.
And that's not like throwing shade. It's not having a go.
No, it's just society, right? It's like how
societally, temperamentally, we don't tend to reach out. And so I'm always just kind of like normalise it as like it's just a phone call to say to someone, I'm not doing very well. And by the end of that phone call, you'll probably, almost definitely, be feeling a little bit better. Or you've just gotten through, you know, the hump of anxiety or panic or whatever it was, and someone was there with you for that 10 minutes as it peaked. And then you're okay.
Yeah.
Because those feelings come and they also go.
So true.
And I think it is fantastic that the Support Act Wellbeing Helpline is now available to all creatives, not just to music. It means that writers like myself, screenwriters like myself, people in various disciplines in the arts can reach out to like a tailored and specific resource and get help and have a chat with someone who gets it. I think finding your tribe as an artist is often finding someone who understands the specific challenges that you're going through as a creative. And so to have a dedicated helpline for that is probably going to change and save some lives. When I was 16 to 19, I struggled a lot with depression and suicidal ideation, and some undiagnosed anxiety and panic disorder as well. I just seemed to have the whole gamut of stuff going on. But I had a very hard time dealing with my sexuality. I didn't really want to be gay, and so that led to some very, very dark times of wanting to undo it and wanting to pray the gay away, and, you know, things that you should not do if you're gay. You know, like, it's not very helpful. It's not healthy. But eventually reached a crisis point, and I did reach out to a crisis service at that time, many years ago, and I think that fundamentally helped me stay afloat and decide I want to keep living. And so I've ever since been pretty passionate about extolling the virtues of a crisis support or a wellbeing helpline or whatever, because I know it has life-saving power. It's really important to me to just keep throwing myself into this conversation, I guess, having lived experience of some darker times and wanting to help other people who might be going through them now and say, there's a way that you can make it get so much better, and you can get help for yourself, and I really want you to.
It's just so important that we keep the conversation going, and it's great that people like yourself will jump in and say, hey, I'll talk about it, you know, because a lot of people are scared, or they don't want to, or they, you know, vulnerability is fundamentally scary. You know what I mean? Like, it's full on. So I think it's just, you know, it's amazing that you do it. So thank you.
Thanks. I'm glad it's useful.
I love talking to you today. This was so good.
It's been awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Thank
you so much.
Thanks for having me.